I do want to switch gears because I feel like we can cook on this one for a little bit.
Yeah.
Sorry, Segway Kings. This is not a good one because I don't even know.
Bro, if I'm honest with you, bro, I think we got lucky with how good those segues are at the beginning. I knew we couldn't keep that run up. I knew it was too good.
I can't wait to listen back and be like, okay, like how did we do that?
Honestly, I just think it was like magic. I don't see it happening again.
Well,
Like that, at least.
listeners, regardless how you feel about the vaccine, pro, against, anti, still need more education, still need some more material to come to a conclusion on your stance, wherever you feel. I think we can all agree there is a lot of misinformation that is getting spread across the board. And to me, on both sides. You know what I'm saying? Like, people are saying this is definitely fact and this is definitely not fact. But it's like, I don't know how you can say that it's definitely fact or definitely not fact. Like, I feel like we're just in this era of let's say shit and just because it came from this source, it's true. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, like that's just how I feel about this whole shit. And what I'm talking about, what I want to talk about is Nicki Minaj, and you guys know, like, I get all my shit from Twitter, so I had to get one Twitter topic out here. But she was getting fried on Twitter for some comments that she had about the vaccine. I think she was getting ready for a show or something. It might have been the VMAs or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I only saw the tweet itself.
Yeah, she was getting ready for the one of these award shows that popped off and got COVID. So she got COVID, and then she was talking about, like, yo, this sucks. Like, she just had a kid, so she's like, for a mother, it's so crazy to be away from your kid, for your small baby, for a week. And like, I'm a week in. So she was like tweeting about like what her thoughts about the vaccine were and things like that. And she told a really weird story. I'm going to read it right now. She said, my cousin in Trinidad won't get the vaccine because his friend got it and became impotent. His testicles became swollen. His friend was weeks away from getting married. Now the girl called off the wedding. So just pray on it and make sure you're comfortable with your decision, not bullied. And so she got killed. Murdered for this, like, absolutely murdered. And I can understand why, but at the same time, like, if you look at her whole, like, her tweet thread or whatever, she was actually asking, like, which one should I get? Like, Drake said he got the vaccine, so I think I'm gonna get it too before I get on tour, but I just need some more information. And they were just murdering her. Yeah. And then the weirdest part to me, it was like, it's just a sign of the times to me that she was talking about her cousin in Trinidad, and now the fucking prime minister of Trinidad has to comment on Nicki Minaj's tweets.
1,000%.
Like what the fuck is going on?
Honestly, man, it made me feel for that dude, man. Like, why does he have to take time away from like running a country to go pay attention to this? But I agree with you.
I don't think he had to.
That's time. No, but that's the problem, is he did, because he had to do it for like her followers of 22 million followers or whatever the hell it is. Because, and you know, it's like, you look at what she said, bro. Like, really break down what she just said. She said her, like, this sounds like, man, I got a cousin who got a friend who got the vaccine, and then like they went to go look for the guy and they couldn't even find him.
But why are they doing this?
They couldn't, because they have to verify, they have to fact check you, like, because there has been no sign of this, and because she's just a prominent person. Like, we can't ignore the reality of Twitter and social media now. People are listening to these people like they're gods. Like, okay, 22 million people. Let's say 1 million out of that 22 million people believe her, and they think now that you're going to become impotent off of this vaccine. If they believe that, that's a huge problem. That is literally a big part of the source of disinformation that's happening. Like, it's like the same thing we had with Donald Trump. That's like where these QAnon people came from, is a guy tweeting to 80 million people, and even if 500,000 of them believe them, and then even half of that, 250,000, then decide, all right, I'm going to believe in QAnon and this huge conspiracy. It's like, I agree, these times are wild. and we have to adjust to them, and people have to be responsible and accountable for spreading that.
Well, see that's the thing. I think she got, in my opinion, wrongly killed for that.
Why?
Because she was asking for information. She was just saying, this is what I heard, this is what happened, I got COVID, and then she puts up a poll of which one should I get, what should I do. Drake said he's getting the vaccine. I'm going to get the vaccine before I go on tour.
Okay,
like
so
she's trying to talk to people.
I didn't know,
and
that.
they're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Blah blah blah. And I'm like, fam, she's just trying to talk to people. And then that's when the clapback session happened. That's when what's his name, Piers Morgan chimed in, and all these people chimed in. It's like, you're spreading all this shit. And I was like, well, let me tell you, dude, I'm reading this, and she's like asking because she's clearly unvaccinated, and she was like scared of it.
I didn't see all that.
Oh,
I went on Twitter after, like, I haven't been on 3 days, and then you told me that, and then I just hopped on Twitter, and I didn't even have to look. It was the first thing that came to my face, and it was that tweet alone. My cousin had a friend that got the testicles swollen, blah blah blah. So if and the thing is not everyone's gonna do what you did. Well, I did exhibit A. I didn't even do that. But I just saw that. I was like, oh, well, there you go.
Twitter should be ashamed of themselves for that, for you, because that's clickbait. You know what I'm saying? That's when you signed in, they're like, look at this tweet. And then you automatically come to a conclusion like, she's fucked up, blah, blah, blah. And that, I feel like that's what a bunch of people did. And I'm like, fam, just scroll down. Like, she's asking, like, what should I do?
Yeah, but then it's like, but then why? Okay, so but then I put it on her to say, why don't you give a better explanation than what you just did? You got to say, hey, you got to put that in the first tweet. You got to say, hey, look, I understand the power of this shit. So I got to say, hey, in my first tweet that's gonna go viral, because that's gonna be the headline, and she knows that, and I think that we all kind of know that.
See, I don't know, because it's a thread, so she's like, but she's continuing it. Then that part of the thread went viral.
But that's the thing, is no one is going to take the entire thread and put that on their news article, their website.
They're gonna pick the clickbaity one.
Exactly. So when she puts in this thing, and she's got to say, hey, look, I am going to get more information, and she cannot give them any reason to do this, because that's the times we're in. People can take any split thing you say or tweet and turn that into a viral tweet. Like if I got to read what else she said, but if she specifically said, I'm going to get the vaccine, she said Drake got the vaccine. But the thing is, I'm going to get it before I go on tour. But why would she even put that out there? Like, why would she even put this story about her cousin's friend, who apparently doesn't even exist because they couldn't even find him?
I obviously don't know Nicki Minaj personally or anything like that.
Yeah.
She, to me, over the years, does not come across as the most intelligent person. I think she was literally trying to interact with her fans by asking these things, because she was saying, like, Barb's, which one should I get? Like, yeah, I think that's what she was really trying to do.
Well, stupid or not, like, however we do it, like, we got to be aware of that. Like we have to be accountable for stupid things. Like, when people act stupid, we don't get to just say, like, oh man, like, she's just stupid. Like, there's 22 million people following her. Like,
I know
we have to hold her accountable for that.
But I'm saying people are acting like she said, don't get vaccinated, don't do this. She was just saying, like, I had my reservations because this is what I heard from my cousin, but I'm still going to get vaccinated.
Oh, God, why?
I said, yeah. She's not the brightest. She's not the sharpest tool in the shed. Yeah. I really think this was an attempt to interact with her fans, and it backfired terribly.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't like there's a difference between, I'm not trying to compare her to Donald Trump. I'm not trying to say that,
because he's telling people, I think, like, yo. Right,
I think his is more intentional and direct. Like, he has a direction. I think that what she did was just ignorant, and I think that, yeah, it was like, you got to be aware of what you're doing, and yeah, we got to give her some pushback on that, because if she's gonna do that, like, we can't just say, oh yeah, well, she didn't mean this. Like, that's an impactful thing. That, like, do you think that, like, all 22 million of her followers are smarter than her? You know what I'm saying? Are smart enough to say, well, let me look further, or let me see, or she's just being stupid. They take her word as bond, bro. They look at her like as like a queen god.
They were killing goddess, her, though, I should say, which was the funny part, because people were like, I've never seen Barb's act like this.
I'm sure a lot of them believed her, though, dog. That's what I'm saying.
But that's the thing, though. Believe what, though? Because she is saying, fam, I don't know anything about this. She's just telling a stupid story that happened to be clickbait.
Yeah, but in the times that we're in, like if you're going to say something about something you know nothing about that is this impactful, you can't just say, take this story from a cousin and a friend that did this that doesn't exist, that like and use that as evidence for something. Like it's like that's what people are like. People like, as you know, people are on the fence of this, and people are gonna read that and say like, oh man, that's a reason, that's why, because it provides impotence.
See, but I can say that for everything.
But
like,
that's the thing,
because
though.
like somebody could take this podcast and I could say fuck something in a joking way, and they will have that 3-second soundbite and put it up. And if I was somebody, then it would be like, Adam says fuck blah blah blah.
You're also
and then I'm like, fam, did you not listen to the whole podcast?
But you're not Nicki Minaj though.
No, I know, but I'm saying you could do that for anyone. You can do that for anyone and everything. That's what clickbait is. Like somebody says something in an interview, they take 10 seconds of the interview and it's the highlight of TMZ.
Okay, but
you know what I'm saying?
She didn't word it in a way that was like, let me take this out of context. It was straight in the context. She's taking it as,
she said, my cousin told me this.
Right.
She didn't say, don't go get,
but
this.
She's using it
she
as
didn't
a
say,
viable.
I think this is true.
But she's using it as, she obviously like takes some merit in it though. That's the problem. And there's no evidence to show that this shows impotence at all. And there's been 5 billion doses distributed. There's been none of that. And like she's using that as some kind of viable evidence, and it was irresponsible, man. I'm
not gonna say that it was the smartest thing to do.
Yeah.
I'm just saying if we give people, because I believe in giving people the benefit of the doubt. I really look at her thread, and she is not really. She's asking for information.
I'm not trying to cancel her.
No, I'm not saying that they were trying to, but I'm saying I don't think she should have been like pounced upon like she was, because it was like, dog, she was really asking for information. And I thought that was like an opportunity for like somebody to like be like, yo, Nicki, like, nah, like this is what's really going on. Like, you need to take this, you need to do this. But instead of that, it's Piers Morgan, all these people like, she's the dumbest person in the world. You have 22 million followers. What the fuck is going on? Blah blah blah. And I'm like, dog, if you,
she should be held.
She's asking.
she should be held accountable, because you can't put something out that as like some kind of meritable evidence to like even think about, because there's no merit or evidence in that. So she should be held accountable, but are people probably taking it too far? Some people, like, yeah, I'm sure they are, bro. Like that's inevitable.
Yeah, but I'm just like I just don't like how we just pick shit and it's like, this is news now, and now the prime minister has to talk about it.
You had to go fact check it, because it's like some PR move on their government. But she's not
saying it as facts. Like she's not saying
she's
for sure.
She's using it as
she said, I heard this happen.
But that's what I'm saying is like, if we don't do that, then what are we doing? Like if we don't hold her accountable, then what are we doing?
Fam, so now we gotta go check Little B's tweets and everybody who says some dumb shit on the internet. You know what I'm saying? Like we gotta do this hot, for everybody.
When it's hot like this, yeah.
I think it's because people are scared.
Scared of what?
The COVID.
Scared of COVID. You think that we shouldn't hold her accountable because they're just being scared?
No, I'm not saying don't hold her accountable. I'm saying don't jump on anybody who says anything and make it the front of ABC News. Like, why is Nicki Minaj's cousin a primetime topic? We're talking about it right now.
Yeah, I think it's because we're just in that time where we just left QAnon era. We're like, well, we're still in it, really, honestly. There's a rally this weekend where people are just seeing like very snippets of things and they're taking it as truth. So they took her as actually considering this, very unviable piece of information that she got from her cousin's friend, that it needs to be considered as something that even needs to be considered. And people are already on the fence, and people are going to say, well, I heard Nicki Minaj's cousin's friends. I'm not saying we should destroy Nicki. I'm not. I'm just saying, like, we have to look at this and say, look, we have to do social awareness of like, look, man, the reality is that is really dumb. And a lot of people aren't going to see that as really dumb. They're going to see that as getting, the person that doesn't spend all their day like looking at the thread or something, like, or not their whole day, but like even going to go down that road and is looking for a reason not to consider the facts or things that's way more credible than that. they're going to look at that. I'm not saying like everyone's going to do that, but there's a populace that will. They'll say, look, let me consider that.
Yeah, I don't even want to talk about it.